I can't believe he said that thing about a chink noise during the audio test for this game. Unbelievable.
Hey there, folks. I'm Zerfall.
I'm gonna say, oh, hey, the folks. Hi, MysteriousJG. I would never have brought that up if I'd known the folks were
Oh, if
here.
you'd known.
Yeah.
Welcome to another brand new Let's Play adventure. We're playing a game which, if you're paying attention to the background of this video, you can tell it's for the Neo Geo. The Neo Geo
Yes.
CD, in fact.
The background, which to me is two vertical white lines.
Yes, but to the folks at home, there's some anime characters peeping their eyes out. And, I mean, that might help you guess what this game is. I'm sure the name of the video and clicking on it did not give you any clues, but let's unpause the legitimate hardware here and get into a game that was recently translated into English, although we found out that it had been translated into French years ago.
Yeah, what the hell? France. And Quebec.
Ooh, so fancy and sparkly. But what game could it be?
I'm super excited about this game. People already know that I'm a big fan of... Well, we'll see. It was a peaceful land, which is why warrior code was so important.
That's what kept it peaceful.
It was a peaceful land filled with demons.
Oh, strong souls. These spirits must be as strong as some sort of warrior.
Samurai warriors. Yeah, they were samurai cops. Those who imbibed this way of life are said to have samurai spirits. And sometimes the guys of samurai spirits would engage in Samurai Shodown, where Showdown was misspelled.
It made it even more Japanese.
Man, that guy's cut.
Literally.
That guy's got huge shoulder pads, literally. That girl's cute, literally.
Oh. Somebody took out that pedal. Twice.
That girl's cute, literally. I'm scary.
Creepy. Oh, if he opens that up, there's no going back.
Kill or killed. Combo's body and mind, JG. It's going to be a long Let's Play. I gotta say, so far the translation is unacceptably good for a Samurai Shodown game. Samurai Shodown, Tales of Bushidō. So I'm really excited about this. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan of Samurai Shodown 2. I played some Samurai Shodown 1. I really don't know anything about what happened to the series after that. And it's not a series where a story is the most important thing, because it was a fighting game. But I'm still really excited to see this one come out, because I knew that it existed for many years and couldn't play it. And then I found out that in 2014, Hobby Consolas identified this game as one of the 20 best games for the Neo Geo CD. So, knowing that...
So it's in the top 50% of games for the Neo Geo CD?
I was going to say, when I found that out, I went to the Wikipedia article on the Neo Geo CD to see if it listed all the games, and it does not. It lists all the names for Neo Geo, because I don't think there's enough Neo Geo CD games for it to actually have its own webpage. It did list examples of games from the Neo Geo CD include, and then just listed them in the text of a paragraph. And there was about 6 games listed, and this was one of them.
So it made the cut.
It made the cut. It made the cut.
I'm slowing the text down here because I can speed it up with the button, but I'm speeding the combat up because it can take a while. And I'm changing the special moves. Do you know what? I'm going to leave them on versus input for now.
What?
To see how that goes, but it's probably going to get quickly changed to menu select.
Yeah, you probably want to just be like, I mean, that's their effort to maintain some of the action of a 2D fighter, but that just kind of makes it seem like you're going to give yourself opportunities to fuck up.
Well, that's true. Apparently, there's no time involved. Like, once you pick it's a special move, you have unlimited time to input the thing right, but if you input it wrong too many times, you will do a standard attack. So the worst that happens is you just attack instead of using a special attack.
Mhm.
But
I'm going to be riding your ass if that ever costs us a fight.
well, yeah. But the one thing is apparently you can use the different like power levels. But I don't know that you can do that in the menu, or maybe you can. So once we have more power levels, we might check that out. But like, if the strongest version's using the C button, you can still use the B or A button to do weaker versions and use less mana, sort of thing.
Well, understandably, we don't know that much about the mechanics of playing this game, which was translated within the last couple of weeks into English.
No.
But I sort of figured there has to be some penalty for using the menu input instead of the action input, but
I think it
maybe
might
not.
literally just be you don't get to choose how strong it is. You just always use the strongest attack.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. And then the second thing is the other way that they kept it kind of like the original is that you hold back to block, but you have to hit it right before you get hit to take less damage.
So that's not actually how it worked in the original, but yeah, like, there's an action element in that there's like a timed. It's like the early version of all freaking RPGs now. It seems like there's a timed thing where if you hit a button, you take less damage, which I actually don't like. I'm into the old menu style.
Well, ever since Super Mario RPG, they've.
Oh yeah. Well, I told you off screen about my recent Super Mario RPG experience and how
it's the newest Mario game.
I was trying to buy Super Mario Wonder for my niece, and somebody's like, "We got Super Mario RPG," which has almost nothing to do with your request.
There's platforming, and you can jump on enemies.
Yeah. Anyway.
Up to 100 times in a row.
So, what do you know about the characters of the Samurai Spirits universe?
I know that when I played in the arcade, this person had animals that helped fight, and I could actually do her moves. I thought this character looked fun to play as because I would play as Felicia in Darkstalker sometimes, and then I was like, I don't know what's going on here. Like I said to you off camera, the only arcade cabinet of this that was near enough to me to actually play was in like I can't remember if it was a restaurant or a convenience store, but I was not in there very frequently, so I played the game like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I played the shit out of this at the college arcade, and I played the shit out of Samurai Shodown 2, I should say. Apparently, when this game was made, Samurai Shodown 3 was either out and brand new, or it was in development. But this cast, these are all Samurai Shodown 2 people, so like from an RPG perspective. All right, so let's just go through one by one. I'll tell you what you need to know to make a decision here. So Ukyo Takibana in the original Samurai Shodown. Oh, I forgot to hit metal timer here. In the original Samurai Shodown, actually 4 of these 6 characters were available, and he was kind of like the Ken to Hoomaru's Ryu a little, maybe, I guess. They didn't have the same moveset, but they were presented as being like rivals because they are both very loosely based on real figures from the actual period who had a famous duel, which Ukyo Takibana lost the duel and died. But
as one does.
As one does in these duels, typically. But like they were both really famous fighters up to that point. And like they traveled to an island to have their sword fight, and like there's this humorous thing going on where Hoomaru's stage is that island during the day, and Ukyo's stage is that island at night, and part of the Samurai Shodown lore is that they traveled to this island to have a duel, but missed each other. But he's kind of a generic samurai guy in the first game, but in the second game, his gimmick is he doesn't talk, he's dying of tuberculosis, and he's like this Bishonen, like, he's this rock star that like women love. Like his actual, when he wins a match, a crowd of women in kimonos run out, and he like runs away because they're chasing him down because they love him because he's so pretty. But he never talks, and he's all like poetic and mysterious, and I have a soft spot for him, but as I describe him, he sounds super lame.
Yeah, the instructions described him as a quick draw master. He has a woman he deeply cares for, but he is suffering from an incurable disease, so he withdrew from her life. He travels in search of the perfect flower to give his love. Odagiri Kai. And his weapon is unnamed sword made by him.
No, he's like a super good character in the game because, yeah, he's got really fast distance strikes. He also has this move where he jumps around and spins around like a helicopter flying around the sky occasionally. His taunts when he wins a battle involve tossing like a piece of fruit up in the air and chopping it in half as it falls, because he's pretty badass. But like the main thing is, this is an RPG, and my main takeaway from him is that he doesn't talk. His beginning of the match quote and his end quote are ellipses.
Oh, he's got the Golgo 13 special down.
He is the Golgo 13, so he would not be a bad choice. But then you have our next choice would be, and we may not even get to gameplay here, folks. We got Nakoruru. Yeah, she's the girl, basically.
It's a 4-hour character creation video.
Yeah, we're gonna give everyone move sets and entrances. Now, Nakoruru is basically the girl.
She's the idol of Samurai Shodown.
She's the idol of Samurai Shodown. No, she's supposed to be. It's kind of weird. Like, she's not. So you know that there's this ethnic group called the Ainu who live on Hokkaido, who are kind of not seen by the Japanese as being Japanese, or like this kind of sub. So she's supposed to be from this weird, like they have all the weird Native American style tropes attached to her that you see, like the Westerners would treat Native Americans as kind of weird, spiritual, connected to the nature. She's like Japanese Native American, I guess. But they've also like give her like the Shinto priestess like style costuming, even though she's obviously not into Shinto because she's into this other Hokkaido thing. The main thing about her was that she's super cheap when the computer plays her. And in the third game, you can choose between having her fight with a wolf or an eagle. But in the game I'm familiar with, she just has an eagle, which is named Mamaha, which is why I will occasionally, all these years later, in any Let's Play, I could at any moment randomly go, Ikizo Mamazaha. That's what you need to know about her.
Okay. According to the instruction manual, she's the idol of Samurai Shodown. She can hear the voice of nature itself and embarks on a warrior's journey to protect it. Her father makes an appearance in Descent of Dark Skies. And then they don't close the quote, so apparently this is still part of the title of what her father makes an appearance in. She can also choose which companion animal to bring with her. Mamaha the hawk or Shikuru the wolf.
Well, we would be choosing the hawk, except we're not going to be choosing her. So here's Omaru. Yeah, Omaru's the main character. He
comes first in the instructions.
Yeah, no, he's a samurai. Zerfall will read you the in-game manual because I guess that's a thing. Me describing him isn't sufficient, but he's the one who shows up when like SNK, when they do crossover games that have like one character from Samurai Shodown, it's always going to be him. If they do two characters from Samurai Shodown, it's going to be him and Nakoruru. He's like stupid powerful in the game. He's a great character to play as. He's a terrible player to come up against. He's just really good, and he's just kind of generically the hero. I guess he does have a backstory, which you might see if we play as him, but he got like beaten by I'm surprised we can't pick Jubei. Jubei is one of the main hero characters, but he got beaten by Jubei, who's like a seasoned samurai who's been around for a while. He got beat by him when he was a young punk. Taught him a little bit of humility. He's gone on to become, but he's like brash, arrogant, and really, really good at being a samurai. And we probably should consider picking him because he's probably the most powerful character.
Well, the instruction manual makes me feel like he has a bit of a Goku vibe to him because.
Oh yeah.
It says he appears unreliable, but he's actually quite a diligent student. His foremost principle is that he seeks strong opponents so he can grow stronger by facing them. This remains true in Tales of the Bushidō, which is, of course, the truest path of the spirit of a samurai, is to appear unreliable but actually be a diligent student.
This is all coming from the manual, really. Yeah, hopefully the Goku vibe doesn't extend to Vegeta eventually confirming in conversation that he's never had sex with his wife, or at least doesn't seem to understand what it is.
I don't know how I had these kids. The other thing is in Dragon Ball Super recently, Vegeta actually beat Goku in a fight. What? Crazy.
Well, I didn't know that. Well, now you spoiled Dragon Ball Super for me.
Well, you better get caught up.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm too busy playing Samurai Shodown RPGs that were translated into French 2 years ago. So now you have the character that I really want to play as, but there's a problem. This is Genjuro Kibagami. Yeah, he's my favorite character. He's basically evil Howomaru. He doesn't get introduced to the second game, but from the second game on, he is Howomaru's rival. In the first game, Ukyo is kind of his rival, but he's kind of his own guy too. But Genjuro basically exists to be a guy who hates Howomaru and wants to kill Howomaru. Unlike Vegeta, there's been no effort to make him turn good. He never gets to beat Howomaru in a fight. He never has wacky comic relief conversations with Howomaru about whether or not Howomaru knows what sex is. He's just, but they were students serving under the same master, and somehow I don't really know again Genjuro's backstory about how he got so fucking angry is, but he's really angry and he just murders everybody. And he's my favorite character. He plays similar to Genjuro, to Howomaru, but he's not identical or anything. All of his moves and appearance are based on the Hanfuda Japanese card game, which I know nothing about and played just enough in the Yakuza series to get the required points and get on with my life. But his quotes. Oh, and Samurai Shodown has the fucking best. Samurai Shodown 2 has the best dialogue of any game ever. When you encounter, like, when you begin a duel, your opponent always has like just a phrase they say at the beginning of the duel. Like, Nakoruru will say something like, I embody nature's wrath, and Galford says, I have eyes of blue, but I know samurai moves. Genjuro just says, kill you, with 2 exclamation points.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned how he's like evil Homaru, because the manual describes him as a ruthless assassin for hire with a personality directly opposite to that of Homaru's. So he apparently is a person that seems like a great student, but is actually terrible, as opposed to appearing unreliable and being a great student.
Exactly.
But his blood burns with an inner conflict, so he sets out to wander. The reason he slays demons is neither for justice nor for peace. Take care when selecting him, and this is the big problem. Because this man travels alone.
Yeah. No, so I, before I was Let's Playing, before I was doing anything like that, I would joke around with like a friend who kind of would go to the arcade and watch me play, and we'd have all this sort of inside jokes about Samurai Shodown. But Genjuro speaks like this. So, like, I gave him a character voice. He basically talks like this, and he was like an insane slasher muppet because, like, his dialogue in game, like there's a point in the, for some reason he just got saddled with slightly worse translations than everyone else. So, halfway through Samurai Shodown 2, the evil demon will appear to the various villainous characters, because there's a lot more characters than this. We're only being allowed to choose these 6. But like the various villainous characters, the demon will appear and will make this poorly translated speech where he says, if you serve me, you will be rewarded. Let us work together to close the land in darkness, or whatever. And Genjuro's response will be, you know my enemy. But at the end, no matter what character, even if you play as like the obese Texas Ninja Earthquake or the goblin with Freddy Krueger claws Ganon, no matter how evil your character is, at the end they will have to fight the evil boss. Your character will say a little piece of dialogue. There'll be an extended scene of like mountain splitting and an evil demonic temple rising from hell itself, all sorts of crazy spooky things, and then the demon final boss will say, impertinent small fry, I will eat you all. And then your character responds to that before the final duel. Genjuro initiates this sequence by saying, you Dark King, you should disappear. Then hell itself comes to Earth, and the demon force rises to face him, and he says, I said you before, didn't I? Pass away. So it's kind of like Morano Joe wrote all of Genjuro's dialogue. He's easily my favorite character. We probably shouldn't pick him because he's the only one who doesn't get to have, and I think you only have parties of 2 or 3 people in this game, but somehow that's even worse. Like, he will be half as effective as any other character because you can only have 2 characters in your party and he doesn't get anybody. Although, I guess it depends on what, like, I read the Wikipedia article. It says, it kind of implies that in the first of the game's 2 chapters, he gets nobody. In the second one, maybe he does, but I think that might be a mistake. It's just like, if I ever come back and replay this game on my own, I'll probably do like a challenge run as Genjuro.
Champ Jam.
Yeah, like what the fuck? She's
Cat
so
girl.
she's supposed to be an adorable little girl. I think she's supposed to be like 12 or something. She's
She got a big boomerang.
She does have a big boomerang. No, she lives in a tree. She scratches behind her ear using her like foot. Like, yeah, she's like weird jungle girl. It's like this weird Japanese thing with like having a Tarzan character, except they're a cute little girl.
They're her hind legs, or as humans call them, legs.
Well, what did I say?
No, I'm just saying in general. She's a cat girl,
Legs,
so they're hind
what?
legs, but they're just legs.
There's her legs. Yeah, she was a character I really hated because I mean it's a cute concept. Like I appreciate the humor of it and all, but like
You didn't like Pac shooting his monkey fire at you.
I did not like Pac shooting his monkey fire at me. I also felt like an idiot because I didn't work out who Pac was, despite the fact that Pac specials should be a hint if you played Samurai Shodown 1 and noticed a character who goes missing between the first and second games. But no, she's terrible when you play as her, but when the computer plays as her, she's fucking unstoppable because she like exploits all these cheesy cheats. And I feel guilty for hating her because she's super adorable in this picture.
Yes.
Well, she's also supposed to be Incan or something, but inexplicably is wandering around in Japan fighting demons.
Yeah, that is what's going on. So she's a tomboyish girl from the jungle, who somehow sits at the center of events in Descent of Dark Skies, which is apparently a big thing that's happening, as well as having a major role in Lament of Pale Blooms. Those must be our two chapters.
They're the two chapters, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm not clear
on whether you choose one chapter, play through it, and then you can choose another character for the next chapter, or if you're stuck with both.
I'm curious.
As long as it's the same people. I do not know.
I know you get to pick the chapter when you start a new game, but I don't know if you beat the first one, if it just brings you into the second one after.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But be sure to see what happens to her older brother Tam at the beginning of the Dark Skies chapter.
Yeah, he turns into Paku.
He turns into Pac. But
And
there's
like,
also
I didn't actually realize that until I finally beat the game with her. Oh fuck, that fucking monkey's been Tam the whole time.
The interesting thing is that like there is a monkey in the town. I used her for the me testing the controls. There's a monkey in the town called Pac. That's a different monkey, but when he gets turned into Pac, she's just like, I don't know this is my brother. So you shouldn't feel bad. Even she didn't know.
Oh no, she doesn't. Like, and one of the most amusing and endearing things about her is the look of like, what the fuck, in her ending scene.
Yep.
When in her ending scene in the actual Samurai Shodown 2 game, defeating the demons restores her brother to his natural form, and she's like, what? Like, she did not know why this monkey that was following her around and fighting with monkified versions of her brother's moves was her brother.
Yep. So
no, I kind of like Champ, but only when I'm not actually playing Samurai Warriors 2 and having to deal with her. Oh, and if you were gonna pick like 6 characters to play as in this game, there's no goddamn way that she should be one of them. She is near the bottom of the list of characters who make sense to actually be at the center of an RPG story.
Maybe she's popular in like the fan circles, so they're like, oh, well, when you're playing it not as a fighting game. You know,
well, I mean,
people want to see her more of her.
Underage girl in weird jungle getup. I can't imagine why she might have fans in Japan.
All right, so moving on. Oh wait,
he's a kind man. He has eyes of blue but no samurai moves. Galford's fucking hilarious. He's terrible. I hate him. Like I took great pleasure in murdering him. Because he is the American. Like, I'm from America. My voice acting in the game is in English. Like, he's classic, like, Japanese voice actor, low quality digital voice, trying to do an American accent. He fights with a dog named Poppy. And he tends to say things like, hey, Poppy, strike heads, Poppy, let's go. We're not going to be playing as Galford. Unless we love this game so much we come back and play it every
all, and this is going to be the new Uncharted Waters.
I would absolutely. If this game is any good at all, hell yeah.
So the instruction manual pretty much says that Galford is a weeb.
Yeah,
It's like
he is.
an American who admires the art of ninjutsu and trained in Japan. He was like, Japanese culture is so much better. I got to go there. A dedicated nice guy who puts all his focus into promoting the cause of justice with his companion, a ninja dog named Poppy. What he sees in San Francisco is not to be missed, and his weapon is named the Justice Blade.
What he sees in San Francisco is a lot of homeless people. No, Galford, yeah, like, and part of what's weird to me is that many, many, many years later, and only, like, she moved to a different position and lateral that I don't work for anymore. My supervisor for a couple years was named Poppy, and she's just a really nice person, and I really liked working for her. But I was always having to like fight back the urge to go, "Hey, Poppy!"
Was she a dedicated nice girl?
I wouldn't call her a girl. She's a grown-ass woman.
Well,
show a little respect, but
I guess
no,
I should have said
Galford-
gal because that's the opposite of guy.
I think,
maybe?
I guess. Yeah, but Galford, yeah. But Galford is in love with Nakaruru, who tragically doesn't seem to be aware, or maybe she does. Like, I think one of their endings involves Nakaruru sacrificing her spirit to defeat evil, and her visage appears in the sky, and Galford goes, "Ah!" But, spoiler, I guess, because I'm not sure if that ending is canon. I think Haomaru's endings are always canon. But everybody has an ending where they win. Even Cham Cham.
So,
And we still have to answer the question who we want to play
we
as.
still have to answer who we want to play. There's going to be more characters in the game, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to Ito.
Yeah, I think everybody shows up as either a sidekick or an enemy. I would probably be choosing Wanfu, but he doesn't seem to be a choice. The other thing that we could do is I would feel like the quote canon path through the game is playing as Haomaru, and then maybe if the game doesn't seem like it's that hard, we could risk playing as Genjuro in the second quest. But I want to sort of see just the first couple of minutes of everybody's story. Like, Galford travels from San Francisco. I feel like if we just save state here and play as Galford, like 5 minutes of gameplay, and he's on the same path as everyone else. I feel like that might be worth doing.
All right, well, if that's the case, we should probably call it a video here. Because we're creeping up on 30 minutes.
Yes.
So next time we'll do a quick little playthrough of the beginning of each person's story, and then decide at the end of that which story we want to continue through, which sounds like it's going to be Haomaru.
Well, folks, if you were looking for a Samurai Shodown RPG speedrun, you might have come to the wrong place. But I have no idea how long this game is once we get moving, so I'm not in a hurry to
I
really
think each scenario is
play
not
it.
too long, but we'll probably play through both for sure at least once. So we'll
think so.
see how that goes. So we'll catch you back here next time, folks. You've gotten your history lesson now. It's time to dive into the characters and see what they're all about.
Sayonara.